Alright, week 6, I worked or did my internship at the Arkansas School for the Deaf Monday, September 23rd in the art class from 8 to 3:30. And then Monday, September 23rd, I went to help with the ASL class with Eddie to basically copy sign Eddie for a blind lady from 6 to 8. And then Tuesday, September 24th, in the art class from 8 to 3:30. And then Wednesday, September 25th, I went to Hot Springs with the seniors of ASD from 8 to 3:30. And then Thursday, September 26th, art class. And then the ASL class with the parents from 8 to 3:30. And then Friday, September 27th, art class. And then as a whole school, we went over to World Fest from 8 to 12. For week 6, I had a total of 36 hours. Now, in regards to the art teacher, Elizabeth, she's still practicing her signs. Not very often. She only asks for help to practice her signs on Tuesday and Thursday morning, right before Eddie comes in. She wants to refresh. And occasionally she'll ask, for example, this week, cool, she looked at me and asked me if she was signing it correctly, and she was signing it like this, and I explained to her that was fruit, not cool. If she wanted to do cool, she needed to put her fingers down. She still likes to, if she signs something incorrectly, she's like, well, what does it mean if I did it like this? And I'm just like, I don't know. I've never seen a sign like that. So if I correct her on a sign, she still thinks it's cute to be like, well, what is that sign then? If it meant something else, I would tell her, but half the time it doesn't. So I don't see the need for asking, what is that sign? That's just my personal opinion. But she is trying to sign with the kids, and I'm getting a little less irritated by some of the things she does. Although she does, Darlene, have an inside joke going on. For some reason, she likes to touch me. I could walk clear across the room, and she will find a way to walk to that side of the room and, like, bump arms with me or something. I tried to hand her something the other day, and instead of just taking it out of my hand, she had to touch my entire hand to grab it. And I don't know. I'm trying to be polite and professional, but I'm getting to the point where I may just have to be rude for a minute and ask her to please stay out of my personal space. I don't know what it is, why she always wants to be right up on top of me. An example also, the other day, I was standing there, and I was far enough for the kids to see me, far enough for her to, stand in front of me if she needed to. We were around this small table, and I was standing there, and she literally was looking at the kids' artwork and got right next to me, and then she walked all the way around me over here to look at this student's artwork, and then she proceeded to walk right in front of me, stand in front of me for a while, and then back. I was just like, why do we need to circle all the way around me to talk to the students? I don't know. I didn't say anything, but it's starting to bother me because it's an everyday thing. I'm fine with being close, but not so close that we have to bump arms and elbows, and she bumps into me half the time, and then she says excuse me after she bumps into me. I don't know why she feels the need to bump into me. Anyways, that's my little tangent about that. In regards to the week, as far as Monday went, we worked on a new project, a flower basket where they took newspapers and they weaved them through each other, or together, weaved together and made a flower basket with 4 flowers on top. And then she hot glued the sticks into the flower basket, and then they painted it afterwards. if they had enough time. She continued that morning to ask me over and over again if I wanted to help her fold the flower baskets, which I told her when I was done, like, taking my notes and stuff, maybe I would later. Technically, that's not my job, is to help her fold newspapers to get ready for her class. And Darlene's explained to her before that that was not our profession. We're not her aides. But she continually asks us to help with favors, which if I'm not doing anything, I don't mind. But in that particular moment I was, and I did not want to. But I ended up helping her later anyways. I asked her if she counted to make sure she had enough, and she goes, well, hopefully I have enough. Well, it turned out later that she did not have enough, and then all the students were scrambling to fold up some newspapers so they could make these baskets in their short amount of time period for their class. So then I ended up having to help more with folding newspapers anyways, because she wasn't willing to count the newspapers to check to see if she had already folded up enough or not, which really frustrated me because I hinted several times. She was like, I hope I have enough, I hope I have enough, and I was told her she should count. Let's make sure. She wasn't willing to count. Anyways, it was a pretty fun project, except for the kids getting frustrated and not being able to weave the basket together. And she wanted to demonstrate, which is good, but a lot of them needed just hands-on help weaving the newspaper through, which I ended up doing a lot of hands-on help. It was a lot easier than just trying to demonstrate with my hand how to do it. So I just hands-on, and I showed them, and then they understood the concept, which is what she should do more of. We tried to explain to her Williams syndrome, and when Allie's group came in, at the end of class when everything was over, I asked Allie, I was like, can you sing D-I-N-G-O? And got Allie really involved, and she loved it and started singing it, and Elizabeth thought that was cute, but that was about it. I think she's still a little clueless on the different syndromes that some of these students have. And even though we explained to her that Allie had Williams, and that's where she lives on music, it just doesn't seem to compute with Elizabeth, and she just kind of looks at it as, okay, that's nice. And for the middle school, the 6th graders, I did the Principles of Art presentation, and basically that comes in conjunction with the elements of art. And then we worked on finishing our bird feeders, which AJ had a difficult time with. He was getting very frustrated because Elizabeth wanted to go ahead and take all their bottles and hot glue in the hook at the bottom. Well, the bottle could no longer stand up because it had the hook in there. So he wasn't able to decorate it properly because it kept falling, and he was getting really frustrated, and the students kept telling him to stop. So I kind of took it upon myself to help AJ from getting in trouble with Elizabeth, because something between AJ and her, she's already let him bother her to an extent that she continually talks about him and is happy when he's not there, or if he does show up, she's like, I wonder how kind of day it's going to be. And she's just already had this preconceived notion about him, and any day he's in class, it's going to make it a bad class for her, pretty much. So I took it upon myself, which may, I guess, probably stepping out of an interpreter role, but I'm tired of him getting picked on. So I told the other students, I said, just ignore him. He's like, he's frustrated because the hook's in there and his bottle won't stand up, so just ignore him. He's upset. He can't paint it properly. And then Elizabeth did look at me, and she goes, I guess I could have waited, but my hot glue gun was already turned on, so I wanted to go ahead and put the hook in. So she kind of realized she made the mistake there, but then part of her didn't care. Like, her hot glue gun was already turned on. She was going to do it. she could have just waited or turned it off and turned it back on at the end of class. But instead, he had to have an entire hour of being frustrated and upset and not wanting to do the project because she just had to hot glue that hook in right at the beginning of class. Which, I don't know. I hope that one day she'll understand that these kids with different syndromes, and obviously they have these different tics about them, that yes, I understand you as the teacher wants to do something, but if it's going to deviate from the child working properly on their schoolwork, then you shouldn't do it. If it's going to frustrate them and cause them to not want to work and to get upset and to throw a tantrum or whatever, then you should hold off if it's really not necessary and just not do it. As an adult should technically know better or learn or watch from example. Like, obviously, if I did this day, I shouldn't do it tomorrow. And maybe the student will act differently. It's my opinion. Later that week, she had asked me, AJ threw a fit about another project. And hold on, I'm going to start a new one.